I could sit around and wait all day. You lay easy on my mind, like a candle I just burn away. All we really have is time. All we really have is time.
I highly doubt I'm the only one that has been really feeling the pressure of the second half of the year. Like, it's such a weird mix of emotions because on one hand, I'm really proud of myself and I've grown in ways that I hadn't in the past. Like, I've pushed through certain challenges that I've had that I would have just thrown my hands up at before, and I've responded to different situations better than what I would have in the past. But also on the other hand, I'm not at all where I thought I'd be at this point of the year. And it is so frustrating because I know what I'm capable of, but also I'm grateful because in the ways that I have grown, it's gotten me more clear on the areas that still need improvement and that have truly been like the underlying things that have really held me back in the past. But now that it is July, as I'm filming this video, I can just feel the clock ticking. And if I'm going to become that version of myself that I've been visualizing by the end of the year, it's go time. If you are feeling the same way that I am and feeling the pressure of the second half of the year, and not that you don't have time to hit your goals, you absolutely do, but it is a good little marking point. It's a good way to really measure your goals. And for me in the past, when I look at the years, I know that I could have done so much more, and I refuse to feel that way this year. So that's kind of why I'm putting all this pressure on myself, but I know I'm not the only one. And if that's how you're feeling with you and your goals as well, this is definitely the video for you. And I'm not gonna be sitting here telling you how to be better or be consistent. We all know that. I'm gonna walk you through the exact steps and shifts that I have taken and am still taking to actually change my life. And it's things that I don't feel like a lot of people talk about. And it's things that will actually help you change your life in the next 6 months. And the last point that I'm gonna share is probably the hardest one to hear. It was the hardest one for me to do myself, but I really do feel like it's the one that will change everything. So stay with me because this might just be the video that is going to change the way that you move for the rest of the year. Nothing else in this video will matter unless you change the way that you identify yourself. Now, we talk a lot about identity here on my channel if you've seen any of my other videos, but truly that is where your beliefs are, where your decisions are, and ultimately what your actions are. Because you don't get what you want, you get what you are and who you are. And that's the frustrating thing to me, and a hard thing I had to learn was that you don't change by just adding more to your plate, adding more to your to-do list. It doesn't come from doing the same things over and over again that clearly aren't working. It comes from becoming someone new. One of my absolute favorite quotes from Tony Robbins is, if you want to change your life, you have to raise your standards. But your standards don't change until you do, which is honestly to me one of the most freeing things in the world because it puts it all back into your control. It means you don't have to just wait for something to happen. You are literally in the driver's seat. You literally have the power to decide today to show up as that version of you that already has what you want. And this is me today. I literally did not want to get out of bed. I did not. My mattress felt so extra comfy. You know those days where your bed just feels like extra comfortable? That was today for me. All of my cats were around me. I had my favorite fuzzy blanket on me. I literally heard thunder and I was like, okay, getting up to work out right now is gonna be so hard. It was so difficult to get out of bed, go put on my tight workout set, freezing cold, roll out my mat and move my body whenever I was so cozy, so comfortable. But I already knew. I knew that I was not gonna be able to wait for motivation in that moment because she won't go come. Motivation, she was gone, she was on vacation. It was just me and my discipline, and my discipline got my butt out of bed, away from my cozy blanket, away from my cuddly kitties, and into my workout set, onto my workout mat, lifting my weights. Because I thought of myself, you know, tonight when I'm going to bed, like being proud of myself for waking up. I thought about myself 6 months from now, and the decision that seems so insignificant today to get up and move my body and lift my weights, get my heart rate up. I know how important those little decisions are, because I know that if I was that version of me that I'm already visualizing, she wouldn't stay in bed. She's gonna get up and she's gonna go move her body, and that is why I decided to do that. In those moments, you have to ask yourself, if you are the version that already had the results that you want, how would you carry yourself? What decisions would you make? How would you walk into a room? What would you say yes to? What would you say no to? How would you act whenever no one is watching? And those were the thoughts that literally ran through my head. I'm like, okay, well, I could stay here, sleep a little longer, cuddle with my kitties, and stay bundled up, but my abs aren't gonna come. My glutes aren't gonna get worked. My muscles aren't gonna get toner. I'm not gonna get my heart rate up and become the healthier version of myself, stronger version of myself that I know I can be by laying in my bed. So I got up and moved my body, and I'm so proud of myself. Identity drives behavior, and behavior drives results. So something that will really help you get clear on this is take 10 minutes and write your future self profile. Take this time to describe the version of yourself that has everything that you're calling in. How does she wake up? What are her non-negotiables? How does she talk to herself? What is she no longer available for? This is gonna help you build this crystal clear vision of yourself, which is going to help you in those moments when it's really hard to make those decisions. It's going to make it so much easier because you will see the clarity of the direction that you're heading into and what you get by making that hard decision. So pick just one thing that version of you would do today and go do it. Because the moment that you start moving like it's already yours, it's gonna start moving closer and closer to you. But there's one thing that I really had to work on that inhibited me from doing this for so long, and it's that you cannot drag your past into your future. So let's talk about how we're gonna cut off that energy that keeps pulling you back and what to do when you can't walk away. When you are shifting your identity, you cannot bring your old you, the old energy of you, into the new life that you're building. You're not stuck, okay? I know you feel stuck, but you're not stuck. You're just still entertaining things that no longer align with the version of you that you say you want to be. Because that version of you who procrastinates, who self-sabotages, who tolerates the low energy, the low effort, the low standards, she can't come with you. You will never be able to elevate your energy if you're holding on to the things that just drain your frequency. So here's the moment that you'll have to get honest with yourself. I had to do this and it was a little painful. It was a little hard, but it's absolutely necessary. What are you still saying yes to or reacting to that your future self would not tolerate or would not respond to? A job that suffocates your creativity, your own negative self-talk? These things are the energetic weight that are keeping you down. And if you seriously want real change in 6 months, you have to remove the things that keep pulling you back into your old patterns. Now, I know, I hear you. You're probably like, Michaela, I have bills. I have to put food on the table. I can't quit my job, even though it's literally sucking the life out of me. Or you're a mom and you have a family to provide for, or a dad that is providing for your family. Like, I get it. There are things in life that you don't want to deal with and that literally drain your energy that you can't just throw your hands up with. So I'm going to tell you exactly how you can tolerate those things and work with those things and keep them from pulling you back into your old ways. Because whenever that's the case, the work does become a little bit different. If this is your situation, you're gonna have to focus a lot more on how you can protect your energy, because you don't always get to control your circumstances, but what you can control is how you show up inside of those circumstances. And how you do that will ultimately determine, do you get out of those circumstances or will they get worse? So if your job is draining to you and it just sucks the life out of you, it feels like, how can you start your day and end your day in a way that fills your cup? If you're surrounded by people who lower your vibe and just don't understand you, and this can be family, it can be friends, it can be coworkers, what can you do to not make their chaos become your identity? Because you have to adopt this mindset that you are the vibe. It is not your job to absorb their energy. So what I like to do is I like to picture like this beautiful white bubble around me, and you can pick whatever color you want. Gold. I choose to have this bubble around me, and I think about it being around me all the time. And whenever I interact with people that are draining, or I have to go and do something I don't want to do, or be around someone I don't want to be around, I think about how their energy just bounces off of it like a bouncy ball. It's almost like an energetic force field, if you will, and they just can't penetrate it. They can't. I have this golden light of positivity and inspiration, and I know what I'm going for, and I know who I want to be. You have to put yourself in this energetic bubble, this energetic force field, and let their energy just bounce off of it. Because again, it is not your job to carry their energy, okay? That is their thing to do. That is their prerogative, not yours. You don't need to absorb it. It doesn't need to affect you. So if you're in a situation like this, whether it's your job, whether it's a relationship, whether it is just in a circumstance you can't control and you can't quite leave just yet, ask yourself, what part of this situation can I take ownership of? What part am I just giving too much energy to? Then you're gonna reclaim your power in the smallest ways you can. Maybe turn your commute into a ritual. Put on your favorite podcast. Listen to your favorite playlist that gets you pumped and ready to go and in a good vibe. Maybe it's breath work that just helps to calm you down and keep you centered. It helps you to see beyond that situation, because a lot of the times we get tunnel vision. We get stuck in this whirlwind of chaos and negativity and just hating where we are. Hating where you are isn't going to get you anywhere. And you also have to release the guilt of not being able to fix it right now and just really focus on what you can control. Because if you can just focus on what you can control, you're gonna get so much further. It's not worth feeling guilty of how you ended up in this situation, or how you ended up feeling this way, or maybe something just wasn't what you thought it was, and that's okay. That is life. So just focus on what you can control and not how you got here, and not feeling guilty or self-pity for yourself. Because even if you can't change the situation yet, you can always change your relationship to it. And that shift alone is going to give you so much more power than what you realize. Now, I know this might feel like a lot, but I know if you're still here, then there is something in you that is truly ready for a real shift. So stick with me, because I'm going to share with you exactly how I keep myself grounded when it feels like everything is just trying to throw me off. You have to use your dips to build your unshakable discipline. How you show up in what I call the dip is insanely important, and is gonna tell you exactly who you really are. It's so easy to be consistent when you're motivated, when the energy is right, and it's one of those days where it feels like everything's just falling into place, when your to-do list feels exciting and everyone around you is in a good mood. But let's be real, that's not every day, and it's probably not even most days. Some days your energy crashes out of nowhere. You're in a harder mental spot than where you were the day before. You feel off, you start to question everything. Or maybe it's not even you. Maybe it's your environment, a passive-aggressive coworker, a grumpy boss, people projecting their stress onto you, and now you're out of alignment. But here's the thing, those are the moments when your next level is decided. I'm gonna quote Tony Robbins again because the man is a genius, but he says that the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your emotional state. And the only way to master your emotional state is to not let other people dictate it. You are the main character. You set the vibe. So that dip, that low energy moment, that is not where you spiral. Not anymore. That is where you solidify who you are. Because your routines are not for the easy days. They're for the days when you feel like ghosting yourself. And no, it's not easy, but it is simple. This is literally like building any other skill or any muscle. It takes practice and it takes reps. So if you enter a situation like this today, tomorrow, this week, and you don't react the way that you want to, and you let it drain your energy and get you in a bad mood like you did before, it's okay, because being aware of the fact that you didn't react in a way you should have is progress in itself. And it makes you aware enough to do it again the next time and do it even better. And that's how you actually make the progress. So here's what you're gonna do. You're going to build a dip protocol. And when I say the dip, I'm talking about the moments in your day when you consistently notice that your energy is gonna plummet. You might wake up in a good mood, but the second that you go in there and you start getting dressed to work out, your motivation goes down, your energy goes down. What can you do in those moments when you identify those throughout your day? What can you do to keep your energy from doing this and bring it back up? So once you identify those moments, I want you to name 3 things that you can do when something or someone tries to throw you off. It can be something like take 3 deep breaths, repeat to yourself that their energy isn't mine to carry, or just do one action that's gonna anchor you back into yourself, whether it is just going outside and going for a 5-minute walk, going and removing yourself from the situation and doing something that's completely unrelated to it. Because every time you do this, when it would have been just so much easier to check out, you build self-trust. And that trust is the foundation of your glow up of the next 6 months. Not motivation, not perfection, just the decision to lead yourself, especially when it's hard. And whenever you can show up through these dips, that is when everything changes. This is where I talk about the one thing that I feel like is going to be the hardest to hear, but I think it's going to change everything for you, because I still struggle myself with this aspect of any goal that I'm going for, and it can easily throw you off if you're not aware of it. And it's what I call, and I've heard other people call it, the lag. This is where most people will give up. Whenever you are shifting into a new identity, calling it a new reality, going for these goals, there is an energetic lag when you are making this kind of shift. You've got to give the old energy time to clear out and make room for all the new things coming in. There is always going to be a lag between you making the decision of becoming who you want to be and when your reality catches up. You have to make that decision first before you see anything, and you're gonna have to keep making that decision over and over and over again when you're not seeing it reflected in your reality before it actually is reflected in your reality. And this is one of the reasons that in the past I've given up and that other people give up, because they're doing the work. They show up every day, they journal, they work out, they post the content, they do whatever it is they need to do every single day, but they're not seeing the results. They look around and see that nothing is changing, and then that's whenever all the doubt starts to come in. You start having these thoughts of, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe this just isn't working. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. But I feel like a lot of people just don't talk about that lag. And I just feel like it's the silent culprit of people giving up on their goals. When you shift your identity and you let go of these old patterns, you have to give the universe, your nervous system, and your environment to reorganize itself around the new you. It's kind of like whenever you are clearing out an old room, you clear out the clutter, but the new furniture doesn't instantly just show up in the room. It takes some time. You have to sit in that space and hold the frequency of what is coming. And don't let it go just because you're not seeing the results yet, because I promise it's working for you. If you are putting in the work continuously, the universe has to meet you there. And if you stop putting in that work, you stop putting in that effort just because you didn't see immediate results, it's not gonna come and it's gonna stop. Like obviously, if you stop working for it, it's just never gonna happen. You are recalibrating yourself to a higher timeline and you're rewiring your nervous system to hold a new standard. You are building the energetic strength to call in and sustain what it is you're asking for. And yes, it can feel weird, it can be boring, it can even be lonely and feel like nothing is happening, but I promise you, it really is. So if you are showing up, even when it feels like it's not working, you are currently in that shift. So take inventory of where you would be if those results did show up. So sit with yourself and really evaluate and see where it is you're expecting those instant results. If I believed it was already done and it was on the way, how would I show up today? That's what I have to do with YouTube. I have to ask myself, like, if I knew I had 100,000 subscribers already, how would I show up today? I had to keep showing up before any subscribers did because I truly felt that the work was done. I knew this was my passion. I knew that's what I was put on this earth to do. And if you can act from that place of just knowing it's already done because you're putting in the work and you know that the universe is working to make it happen and you're working through that energetic lag, you're clearing out the old energy and making room for the new, that is going to collapse that lag time. You have to stay in that energy even when the evidence hasn't shown up yet. So if you are serious about actually changing your life in the next 6 months, and it doesn't have to be the middle of the year like it is now when I'm filming this, it can be whenever. Don't just make new goals, don't just make a plan. Decide who you are right now, and you have to just let go of what has been draining you. Show up even whenever it's messy and give your new identity a chance to breathe, because this next 6 months, they're gonna pass whether you like it or not, whether you work on your goals or not. And they are fully yours to have. And the version of you that you keep fantasizing, she is not in some far off fantasy. She's just waiting for you to catch up. If this video gave you the wake up call that you needed, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. These are personally the things that I have done and are doing to really truly change my life in the next 6 months. And if you're feeling the pressure of the second part of the year, just really, you have time. You have plenty of time. It just really does come down to identifying yourself for who you want to be and acting out of that and not letting anything get in your way. So make sure to comment below and let me know how you are going to be solidifying that next level version of yourself. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for watching. I truly hope this video gave you the insight and the motivation that you needed, and feel free to come back to it if you feel like you need this little talk again. But with that being said, thank you again for being here. Thank you for watching, and I cannot wait to catch you in my next video. Bye.
All we really have is time. All we really have